the X-Wing started to open. I was like, oh, I know what that means.
I forgot how Welcome to a podcast named Tim. Today I'm going to be discussing Devil Girl from Mars, which came out in 1954. I'm hoping to do a lot more B-movie reviews that I'm going to be releasing on hopefully Friday, Saturday nights. So there's going to be a lot of 40s, 50s, 60s science fiction films and a lot of probably 70s and 80s kung fu films. That I would expect those to hopefully come to the channel. If there's something else you'd like to see, something in that nature, just looking for those good. These are two of the niche. They're not even niche, I guess, but two of the genres that appeal to me the most, and those are the two kind of eras that are just really full of just so many movies because people were just pumping them out and they were cheap. Probably do a lot of horror movies as well, maybe some blaxploitation films, just some films that maybe don't get as much love and appreciation as they deserve. Doesn't mean they're going to be good. Some of these are probably going to be terrible, but there's always something in a movie, hopefully to find that is you can appreciate, and sometimes it's fun to watch a bad movie. So without any further ado, let's get into Devil Girl from Mars. Has a 1 hour and 17 minute runtime. That's why I love bad movies, typically short. Has a 5.0 on IMDb. No Rotten Tomato meter score, but they do have a 23, from the audience. And what is Devil Girl from Mars? Which one is a great title? It is basically in London, Scotland, somewhere in the greater United Kingdom. There is a UFO sighting / meteor sighting. Something occurs, and there's a motley crew of people that end up at a hotel, or not a hotel, an inn that is in the middle of nowhere, where the UFO has landed. And the motley crew of people that we're dealing with, this has a very teleplay feel to it, as far as very limited number of characters. Obviously, one room, 2 rooms essentially, and we're just going to throw a weird cast of characters, and they're going to talk about the time. This was a really good science fiction movie to me. I enjoyed it. I know it's on a list for from Razzies, as far as one of the one of the amusingly bad movies was what it was coined, and it is. I think it's a really enjoyable movie. But the cast of characters we have the innkeeper, her drunk husband. There's their nephew, who's, we'll say about 10, maybe, probably 8. Their bartender, who is in love with a con man who was accused of murder, who has escaped from prison, and astrophysicist, I believe the scientist is, a news reporter, and a model. I believe that's all the characters we have. So I have a weird crew of people that are at this inn during the middle of winter. And then this UFO shows up, and they found the scariest thing to for people, men specifically, probably in the 1950s. There's a woman in charge. It's the Devil Girl from Mars shows up in this great, just kind of Matrixy look. Felt like a mix between the Matrix and the villain from Thor Ragnarok. Had that kind of look to it, and just a lot of black trench coat. Had this black cap thing that kind of hung down to here. Really enjoyed the design of the Martian, I guess. And she proceeds to tell them that basically the whole movie is a couple things. One, her bragging, we're so much better than you. Just bow down. You have no clue what you're doing. We have robots. We have organic metal that heals itself, which is what she's waiting on. Her ship is healing itself. I think it struck the meteorite entry. And so, excuse me. So she's waiting for that to heal. And then, we have atomic bombs times 1,000, all the stuff you would hear. So she's just bragging it up the whole time. The other thing she's here for is she's here to get a man or men, because on Mars there was a battle between the sexes that turned into an actual battle. It's not just a phrase. There was a war between men and women, and basically women rose up, took over, and men, she just said they were in decline. She didn't say why. I don't know if there was some kind of chemical warfare or nuclear warfare or something, or they've just been, their spirits have been broken because women are in charge. But either way, the men are on decline, and she's here basically for some Earthmen so that they can repopulate, essentially. Because even though their science, I think she even says something to the effect of, even though their science is so great, they can't create life. So that was interesting. But most of the movie, and probably one of the reasons it's amusingly bad, is she keeps going back and forth to the end and her ship. Like, she'll come in, say something like, blah, 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 you all suck, I'm great. And she'll say, I'll be back because I have to go check on my ship. And then she'll come back. And the whole time, every time she goes away, the cast is trying to plot a way to stop her. And they come up with dumb ideas. We're going to shoot her. Doesn't work. They do some kind of weird electric fence thing. I didn't really catch what they were doing there, but they tried to trap her with it when she opened the door. Each time she just laughs it off and demeans them even more. She ends up capturing the little boy who she plans to take to Mars with her. I think she says something to the effect of, he'll come willingly, and he's young, and basically you haven't corrupted him with your dumb ideas here on Earth. And they just constantly, she just keeps showing up, and I have to say the robot was a great, terrible in a good way, 1950s just giant block design. There's phaser beams. There's so much mumbo jumbo that goes on with this movie, as far as science gobbledygook that they mention, as far as the trans plasminator. They just make up so many great sci-fi words in this and nonsense. But yeah, it's just funny because most of the movie is go to ship, go back to inn, go to, I don't know how many she got her steps in that day. That's all I gotta say. Really enjoyed it, but in the end of the movie, the big climax, because I think I can spoil a movie from quite some time ago, is basically the con man, who we kind of found out is innocent. There's a lot of melodrama in this movie as far as people falling in love and stuff. Maybe a little bit too much, but I enjoyed it. Had a good feel to it for the 50s. But basically, he goes off up in space. They had found a way to where they thought they could mess with the ship and the power of it and create an explosion. So he sacrifices himself because the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or the one, of course. That's generally Devil Girl from Mars. A lot of walking back and forth. Great design. Good music. Fun, motley crew of characters. And a very absurd plot in some respects. But I just enjoyed it. I thought that everyone, they gave it their best. I'm not saying their best was great, but it's a film I enjoyed. I think if you like bad movies, it is worth your time. And look forward to watching some more of these. Gonna mix it up probably between kung fu and sci-fi and horror, like I said, blaxploitation, maybe some other more niche kind of bad cinema genres. But no clue what I'm gonna do next week, so I have not planned that out. But that was Devil Girl from Mars, and thank you for checking this out. Let me know your thoughts if you have seen this wonderful film and if you enjoyed it. And I look forward to talking to you all next time here on a podcast named Tim.